Okay, we are moving into the last video of this series, and the first question says that even though it was not illegal for bank to share its customers' personal information with an outside marketing company in return for commission on sales, the state attorney general accused that the bank of engaging in deception practices by failing to honor its promises to its customers to keep the record private. So, why were they accused? False practices. And what was that false practice? By its failing of honoring its promise to the customers to keep. Oh, we don't need an it here. So, because of its failure in honoring its promise to its customer in giving, because of its failure to honor its promise to customer of keeping. So we have to find out where it would come into. So B, D and E are passive, and also the pronoun is misused 3 times. It does not make sense. And engaging in X because of its failure versus engaging in X by its failure. So that's again something that we should not be picking. So which makes A the best option as it is. So that was it. Whenever we look for it, it's they. The first thing that the GMAT wants you to make it right. If possible, avoid it, but don't make it run on. So you have to get that balance right. Let's move to the next. It says that the Hong snake puts on impulsive bluff, hissing and rearing back, broadens the flesh behind its head the way cobra does, feigning repeated strike but have no dangerous fangs and no venom. Eventually, if a pursuer is not cowed by the performance, will fall over and play dead. So this talks about an activity that it does. So we have to find out hissing and rearing back, broadening the flesh. So hissing, rearing, all of these points that we need some ing, and that's one help. So broaden. So we are left with C, D and E. Broadening the flesh behind its heads the way cobra does, and feigning repeated strikes, but it has no dangerous fangs and no venom, and looks good for now. Broadening the flesh behind its heads the way cobra does, and feigns repeated. If you want to keep it ing, keep it ing. So broadening cobra does, feigning, but with no dangerous fangs and no venom. So what no dangerous fangs? But it has no dangerous fangs. So that makes C our best option. So you have to keep it when it's required, but not do it too much. You have to keep things parallel. ing. That becomes the major hint. Question 3 says it is unclear whether chimpanzees are unique among non-human species in their ability to learn behavior from one another, or if when other animals are studied in much depth, similar patterns would be found. So we have to compare other animals with chimpanzees, and not pattern with animals or animal with patterns and things like that. That becomes our main hint. And then we have to check whether it's if, would, whether. So the right word here is whether. That brings us to D and E. So whether similar patterns would be exhibited in other animals that were studied with as much depth, or whether other animals would exhibit similar behaviors if they were studied. So if they were studied, we have to compare animal with animals. So that makes E the best option. So moving to the fourth, it says that paper production accounts for approximately 40% of world's industrial use of wood, and the market for paper is growing faster than it is for all major products. Yes, this has been the case. So the market for paper is growing faster than it is for all than the market. So you know, when I say things like that, I will compare market with market. So it's growing faster than market for all, market is growing faster than it. We're not talking about paper, we are talking about the market. So let's compare market with market. That would give B as an undisputed answer. This was an easy one. Compare right things, compare countries with country, compare economies with economy, compare markets with markets, compare profits with profits, and these kind of things. So this says that Thomas Emkin's powerful style and his choice of subject dash the advantage of Mercer dash was disturbing to his own time as it was compelling for other. Whenever we see dash, we are trying to explain something, returning back to our topic. So Thomas' powerful style and his choice of subject was as disturbing to his own time as it was compelling for ours. So are we talking about time or we are talking about people? So when we talk about time, compare time. When we talk about people, compare people. So was disturbing to his own time as they are, has been disturbing, have been disturbing to his own time as. So we don't have any hint there to compare time with time, so we'll go with tense ideas. So have and has is one option that would help us to remove or as disturbing to his own time as they are. So we'll use a they because we are talking about something plural, which would bring B as the right answer. So we tried to look for the right comparison, but everything was compelling for ours. So then we look for tense consistency and the subject verb agreement thing. Let's look at the sixth. Okay, so the Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded to 3 scientists for the discovery that plastic can be made electronic conductivity, and was that led to improvement. Okay, so of plastic's ability of plastic being able to E goes out, being able to of plastic ability goes out, that plastic can be made electrically conductive and advanced this has led this advanced leading and this advanced led. So we have 3 options: an advanced that led to, this advanced leading to, B goes out, leading to is wrong, and this advance led to. I think, do we need this? And this advance led to, that was to be, to be, we have to be to eliminate B, that keeps us with A. So this advance was not the point of elimination, to be was the point of elimination. That becomes the point of elimination. Let's move to 7th. 7 says that the agreement, the first to formally require industrial countries to cut emission of gasoline, is a formal protocol by which 38 industrialized countries must reduce emissions. So by which, under which. So an agreement. So do you keep agreement by which or under which? So you have to be always be under the agreement. So the closest are by which and under which, but a formal protocol, we are talking about something strong. So under which we must reduce, and must is another strong word. So the best guess here is under which becomes the right option. Let's move to the 8th one. It says that more than 300 river drains into Siberian Lake Baikal, which holds 20% of world's freshwater, more than North American Great Lakes combined. Okay, Lake Baikal which holds, okay, or 20% more than all North American Great Lakes combined. So we are comparing the capacity to capacity, we have to check that, and after the comma we are just talking about Lake Baikal. So we should talk about Lake Baikal, which holds 20%. That's fine. So 20% of world's fresh water, I'm reading B, that is more than that of North America, Siberian's Great Lake. How goes weird. That is more than Great Lake has more than 300 rivers draining into it. Oh, we have separated and jumbled everything. Siberian glaciated Baikal, comma, with more than 300 rivers draining to it, comma, it holds more of the world's fresh water than North American glacier. Or 20% should be kept close to what it holds, otherwise how would reader understand? So C, B goes out. While more than 300 rivers drain into it, Siberian Lake Baikal, so 20% of all water, which is more than all of the North American lakes combined. We can compare lakes with lakes, what capacity with capacity, and while is a non-intentional thing there, does not make sense. So more than all North American Great Lakes combined, comma, Siberian lakes, comma, with more than 300 in it, comma, hold 20% of the world's fresh water. So more than all Siberian lake, comma, with more than. The comparison is wrong. The author intends to say that Balkan holds more than all other lakes. It is quantity, hand, or the extent of holding that should be compared. So the only option which compares quantity with quantity in the right way is A itself. Let's move to the 9th. It says that in a blow to those who still harbor the illusion that email exchanges are private, a watchdog recently uncovered a trick enabled for interloper to rig an email message so that this person will be privy to any comments that the recipient has added as a message forward to other. So long sentence, the longer they are, the better they become. So in a bow to those who still harbor that illusion that emails exchange are private, comma, a watchdog. In a blow to those, okay, in a blow to still harboring the illusion, in a blow to those who still harbor the illusion, or in a blow to those still harboring the illusion. That's question 1. Then we have that a recipient has added, might have added, would add, a recipient might add, and might add. So you have to dig deep into this, search for the meaning, and then get this done. So in a blow to those who still harbor, I am reading option B, in a blow to those who still harbor, who still being harboring the illusion, no, who still were harboring the illusion, who still harbor the illusion, who still harbor. We are talking about present, we are not talking about were or had been or have been. So D and E becomes our close one. So in a blow to those still harboring the illusion that email a watchdog uncovered that enables to rig email so that this person will be privy to any comments that the recipient might add. Okay, so that this person was privy, it's not about was, is, everything should be in present, and that makes D our best selection. So everything is in present, and had been, has been, the starting and the ending point gives us great hints to solve this question. So tense is the key to solve this question. So last of the series, because Miranda, the smallest moon of Uranus, has large number of different surfaces, including, and some says that it one time repeated impacts says that at one time repeated impacts broke the surface apart, and after which the fragments were subsequently rejoined because of mutual gravitational attraction. So at one time, what repeated impacts? I think at one time the surface broke apart as a result, or the surface broke apart with repeated impacts. So D and E, then we have to follow in one time what, suggest at one time repeated impacts broke the surface apart. This is weird. So at one time, and the other hint is after which having rejoined, no, after which they rejoined. So having is wrong way to use them, which makes E the best option here. Okay guys, that does it. I hope you got some new info. Thank you for watching and have a great exam.